Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। हरि ओम। By the way, this whole week I have been doing 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita for Chinmaya Mission Pittsburgh. So if you go to Chinmaya Mission Pittsburgh YouTube channel, you will find my pravachans on chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita. We will continue with our study of chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita. So we left off at Shloka 20. So we are seeing over here qualities of a man of realization. And this chapter deals with Karma Sannyas Yoga. Karma Sannyas, a lot of us want freedom from action. But what Bhagavan is telling is we should not aspire to have freedom from action, but we have to aspire for freedom in action. Big difference. Freedom from action meaning we want to be a couch potato. We just want to sit and surf Netflix and do nothing. Have a bowl of popcorn, enjoy, and not doing anything is very inviting to most people. But in 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan mentions that not even for a moment we can remain without doing action. Even not doing action and sitting and watching TV. Watching TV is also an action. So Bhagavan says every waking moment we are doing action. So why not nobilize the action? So in this chapter, Bhagavan says that the one who has renounced action does not give up action, but in the thought process, they are dwelling in absolute, which never does anything, and it is beyond action, for it is all pervading. It is all knowing. It is all encompassing. And it is purna, it is complete. So it need not do any action, for there is no sense of nothing left, nothing is left for it to be accomplished. It is all accomplished. So no action is required for it to acquire something, because it doesn't feel that it lacks in something. It is purna, it is complete. So Bhagavan is describing the mind of a person who dwells in the infinitude, which is all-encompassing, all-knowing, all-pervading, all blissful. And thus, Bhagavan says, it is important, Arjuna, for you to know what such a man of accomplishment is. So Bhagavan says, na prahyushyet priyam prapya, no dvijet prapya cha priyam, sthira buddhira sammudaha, brahmavit brahmani stitaha. Brahmavit, the knower of Brahman. This is shloka number 20, chapter 5. The knower of Brahman, Brahmavit, Brahmani, in Brahman, locative case, stitaha, the person abides in Brahman. Not like literally they have gone to the seventh heaven to meet Brahman. Not that Brahman is beyond seventh heaven. Brahman is right here. Brahman is available only in knowledge. Brahman is available only in understanding. And in knowing myself to be complete, Bhagavan over here says, the knower of Brahman, Upanishad says, Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. The knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. Over here, the same Upanishadic statement is uttered in this chapter as the knower of Brahman abides in Brahman. That's all. Same idea. And what is the mental disposition of such a person? This absolute infinitude, when that infinitude is right here in as though a finite mind. How does this finite equipment express the infinite? So it is said over here that na prahyushyet priyam prapya. If something conducive arrives, they don't become all excited. Such a person doesn't become all excited by acquiring something which is conducive, which is priyam, which is something of their liking. Not only that, but na udvijet cha apriyam prapya. They also don't get all ruffled up and raffled up, upset, angry when they acquire something which is non-conducive, something that they didn't want and they ended up with it. They don't get upset over it. They realize this is a vast play of God's creation. God wanted me to enjoy this. I think it is inappropriate, but he happens to think it is appropriate for me. So why get angry? Why get rid of it? If it has arrived on chance, let it be. So this spells both of the first statement First quarter, second quarter together spells contentment. They dwell in absolute contentment. And when one is content, there is no urgency or a desire to act. Only out of uncontentment we act. But this person is content. And when they act because it is a privilege to act. It is a privilege to do action. Most of us do action because we want to acquire things which are conducive and pleasant. And we walk away from objects, people, situations which are non-conducive, but not the man of wisdom. Such a person has mentally prepared themselves, and that mental preparation is called sthira buddhim, asammudaha, sthira buddhihi. The intellect is steady. It doesn't flicker. No desires or winds of passion make the buddhi flicker. It is like a lamp which burns in a place where there is no wind. It almost looks like it is a fake lamp. It is just steadily sitting on top of a candle. Such is a buddhi of a man of wisdom. It is not fanned by the winds of passion or the winds of desires. The desires have come to an end. Passion has come to an end. Uncontentment has been taken over by absolute contentment in a sense of fulfillment. And this brings about completeness. Whether absence or presence of money, power, position, fame, name, title, nothing matters to them. For no apparent reason, they are happy. Such is a man of absolute contentment over here. Bhagavan says this person acts out of absolute contentment, and only such a person's actions can be noble, and they will become a cause for blessing the world. So such a person is described over here, the sthira buddhihi asammudaha. Asammudaha, the one who is not deluded. We get deluded by objects, by situations, by people. So many things disturb us. But a person whose intellect is steady, steadfast, they never ever get perturbed. Continuing, shloka number 21. Bahya sparsheshva saktatma vindatyatmani yat sukham sabrahma yoga yuktatma sukham akshayam ashnute. One of the main reasons that all jivarashis on this planet, not just human beings, but every single species on this planet, they do what they do, it is for happiness. We get married for happiness. People get divorced for happiness. What a, if we really think about it, it is only for happiness. Our actions drive us forward into our life. So Bhagavan uses this joy and happiness to allow us to understand, have a glimpse, a window into the mind of a self-realized soul. So Bhagavan says over here, such a man, sukham, joy, akshayam sukham ashnute. He enjoys non-depleting joy, a joy which never depletes. In fact, it only keeps on increasing. Peculiar is the joy of a self-realized soul. The more they experience happiness, the more happiness grows, because this joy is infinite. Very peculiar is this bliss of a man of self-realization. Our bliss is bound in time, place, and objects. Thus, the minute we have enjoyed our joy, it is as though after experiencing happiness, we are back to where we were. In fact, we are even more uncontent. Why? Because now there is even a greater urge to enjoy. That object came, gave us happiness, and the object left. So the taste of the happiness that we enjoyed lingers around, but the joy is gone with the object. This is what happens for us. And thus, the English idiom, been there, done that. I have been there, meaning I have experienced it. I have done that. And now I need something else. It is not adding an ounce to my happiness. They're looking for something else. Thus, this idiom, been there, done that. But for a man of self-realization, abidance in Brahman, they cannot say been there, done that. Been there, and enjoying even more and more and more and more and more. It grows and it grows and it grows. So now our happiness is bahya. Over here, the person's happiness is explained through our bahya sparsheshu asakta atma. Our joy, like I said, is born out of objects. It is like this, you can, a little 4-year-old, 5-year-old. It is their birthday. A 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, the birthday means a world to them. They put a little conical cap over there with an elastic band, and everybody's like, happy birthday, and that cake comes. And as according to American customs, blowing out the candle. So we light a lamp over here, the lamp is blown out. It's okay. But is drooling because he wants to eat the cake. It's just a 5-year-old kid. We can understand a 5-year-old wanting to eat cake, and he enjoys it, and he knows it is his birthday. So the first piece is going to be his. And as he's blowing out the candle, he's drooling, because there is an anticipation of the enjoyment of the cake. And that anticipation of enjoyment, quickly he wants to blow out the candle. But the parents have played a trick with him. They have brought these candles which can never be blown out. So that poor thing tries so hard, a 5-year-old. Not like a seasoned Carnatic singer where, they can take a deep lungful of air and chew, even that they can blow out. But a little 5-year-old, and then he's looking at Amma and Appa, what is this? It's not going out. He wants to eat the cake. That anticipation, you can imagine the projected joy of eating a cake of a 5-year-old. Finally, even the parents cannot, stand over there and watch their 5-year-old son blow out this candle for such a long time. So father takes it out and he gives him a slice of cake, and happily he's eating. Now, how much cake can he eat? 1 slice, 2 slices. By the time 3rd slice, now he will take the same cake, give it to the brother now. Earlier, he would not dream about giving to his brother. He's a 5-year-old. I'm going to have the whole cake. But after 2 big slices, the 3rd one is happy to give away. This is called Bahya Sparsha Cake Ananda. The object called cake, when it is taken, it gives joy. The joy that the first spoonful of cake gives. Then the 2nd spoonful, the joy is already diminishing. By the time the 2nd slice is over, that cake does not give joy. And the kid is willing to share the cake with this brother who he fights with all the time. So this is just, we all can relate to a 5-year-old eating cake. We are also just like that when Bhagavan is looking at us. Our cake is the home, the car, the vacation. All this is our joy. That person waking up early in the morning, turning on the computer, logging into the money market account to see how the retirement fund is doing. What is the market? Is the portfolio diversified? These are the joys of the adult. For a child, it is a cake. For a man of self-realization, the joy which is born from worldly objects, asakta atma. Atma over here is referred to as mind. Not the Jivatma or the Paramatma, but specifically the mind. Bahya Sparsheshu Asakta Atma. The mind, when it comes in contact with the world of objects through the senses, the mind does not take delight in it. Asakti. That is as though a type of vairagya, complete dispassion towards the world of objects. Yeah, money is required, food is required, but they don't go crazy over it. If it arrives, they accept it as grace of God. If it departs, it is also grace of God. So the relationship with the material world has completely changed. This is what is meant by bahyasparsheshu asakta atma, and positively yat sukham vindati atmani. They have rejected the outside world. The mind does not seek delight, but vindati, they have gained. Sukham, joy. Yat sukham, the higher joys of the subtler world is what they have gained, for the equipment has become subtle. So the subtle equipment doesn't delight in gross joys which are bound in time, space, and objectification. They seek a subtler joy, which is lasting, which is all pervading, which is all knowing. It is a joy of knowing that I am complete. I seek nothing else. Only knowledge will satiate our thirst for joy. The elixir of immortality has to be known by the intellect. So it stops looking and it advises the mind, don't turn towards that, turn towards the higher. And the mind listens to the intellect and goes in search of a richer, subtler joy of contentment. This is bahyasparsheshu asaktatma vindati atmani yat sukham sa brahma yoga yukta atma. Yukta atma, again, atma, mind. Yukta, it is united with informed intellect. And the mind-intellect complex works together, and it is Brahma Yoga. It is united together with Brahman, the Absolute. Saha Brahma Yoga Yuktatma. The equipment has been united with the higher. And such a person, Akshayam Sukhamashnute, they enjoy inexhaustible joy. The gross joys is the returns that we get, the diminishing returns of the material object. The joys of the material world, they are of diminishing returns. But the joy of the subtler world are inexhaustible. They don't diminish, they in fact increase. Because on the outside, in the objective world, it is a finite world. Versus on the inside, in the knowledge, it is infinite presence. It is infinite presence and finite experience. We call it finite because it is bound by time, bound by place, bound by objectification. The joy of marital life one day has to come to an end. Even after decades of marriage, because it is the law of Prakriti, the body has to move on. That is loss of kith and kin in our life, loss of objects. We build a home. How long will it last? We may want to pass on to the child, the grandchild, the great-grandchild, but it has to wither the test of Prakriti, and nothing is permanent. Prakriti means it is in motion. Jagat. Jayati, tishtati, gacchati. It is born, it stays, and it goes. Born, stays, goes. Everything. And if something goes in the finite world, it leaves a void. The experience is left behind without the object. And when the object is taken away and the experience remains as a memory, it becomes a burden. The memory torments us. The memory tortures us. The memory recalls the experience, but the locus of that experience is not available. So what do? But over here, akshayam sukham ashnute. Because this gain of the infinite kingdom is permanent. It is not bound by time, space, or causation. It is infinite. Thus, this is the ananda of joy of a self-realized soul. Continuing, shloka number 22. Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkayonaya evate adyantavanta kaunteya nate shuramate buddha. So, from the joy of a man of self-realization, Bhagavan derives corollaries, and they become sadhana for us, a spiritual practice for us. And those are the shlokas 22 and 23 are born out of the vast understanding of the mind of the man of self-realization. And what is the corollary? Now it is said, Bhagavan says, Hey Kaunteya, yehi samsparshaja bhogaha te dukkhayonaya eva. Arjuna, you understand that when anybody comes in contact with the material world, engage in your contact with this world with a pinch of salt. Because any type of interaction with the world, the finite world of objects, it is a womb of sorrow. Be alert, Arjuna. It is a womb of sorrow. Why? Because Adi Antavantaha, they have a beginning and an end. The experience has a beginning and the experience has an end. And because it is a temporal experience, it can never ever be lasting. And because it is not lasting, it will not bring contentment. And thus, you will be left feeling sorrowful after the experiences. Whether children, whether spouse, whether parents, whether friends, this is people. Then objects, our home, our car, our gadgets that we use, starting from the refrigerator to the dishwasher, the washing machine, dryer, vacuum cleaner, everything is adyavantaha. As long as it works, there is joy. The minute it breaks down, it taxes us. The car, when it is working just fine, we don't even notice the blessings of a car which works. But when the car breaks down, we cutofy our head. Oh my God. Now I cannot go to work today. I have to get this thing in the body shop, repair it, take an Uber, go to work late, take an Uber, leave work early, pick up car, and hopefully it is done properly. Knock on wood, it works tomorrow. So even our physical equipment, body, it is also an equipment like a car. It is a yantra. When it is perfect, we don't even notice it. Like today, my throat is scratching and I asked Bharti ji to help me on it. I'm drinking hot water over here. When the throat is working just fine, we don't even notice it. One little cough, all sorts of things, a whole packet of halls and everything is required. So, Adi Antavantaha. And a wise man, na teshu ramate buddha. Buddha, a wise man, na teshu ramate. They do not delight themselves in it. They do not play with it. I've come across, some fantastic jnanis when I go to like Himalayas and you can spend some time. You have to really look for them. They are just very quiet. One simple hut has absolutely nothing. The melted ice water which runs in front of their home is the only source of water. And if somebody brings bhiksha, they will have it. If not, they will remain over there. Our Tapovanji Maharaj, Guru Swami Chinmayananji was that caliber. And his devotees were Supreme Court justices, Raja of Rajasthan, Maharaja of Lucknow came and said, Swamiji, I will build another palace over here. You live in it. Swamiji said, no. I'll make one room. No. He didn't even want one room. He said, you will build and go. Who will maintain this? Tapovanji Maharaj didn't even have more than 2 garments. He said to have 2 garments is bothersome to my buddhi because I have to look over there when it is drying that some cow or buffalo is not taking that ochre robe away. That same cloth he would go dip in Gangaji Imagine December, January in Himalayas and Uttarakashi, and he will sit. He says, the heat of the body will dry my clothes. His devotees were not ordinary. Chinmayananda. And Tapovanji Maharaj and Swami Chinmayananji, they both came from very well-to-do families in Kerala. Very well-to-do families in those days. But that Tivra Vairagya, whenever I read this, I think of Tapovanji Maharaj. Nateshu Ramate Buddha. In those days, one German had come and he wanted to scale the Shivalinga peak. And he asked Tapovanji Maharaj, and Tapovanji Maharaj replied to him in German. And people sitting around like, when did you learn German? He knew German. And he gave precise directions how to go from Gangotri, how to go to Gaumukh, and from Gaumukh, how to go to the Shivalinga peak, and which face is good for ascending. It took him 9 months. And on his way back, he gifted Tapovanji Maharaj in those days a Canon camera. In front of him, Tapovanji Maharaj took it and gave to his disciple Swami Sundarananda. And with that camera, Swami Sundaranandji captured the whole Himalayas. We have a coffee table book called Himalayas in picture, through a lens of a sadhu. That camera actually was gifted to Tapovanji Maharaj. Tapovanji Maharaj, he said, this is the best camera. Why do I need to take pictures and preserve them? We record this pravachan is being recorded in some cloud. And then it will be extracted and uploaded onto a YouTube channel and whatnot. Tapovanji Maharaj, no pravachan recording, nothing like that. And then people go back and listen. He says the memory power should be that once you read, it should be there. When he was 17 years old, he went from Palakkad to Baroda, Gujarat, because in those days, Maharaja Sayajirao Gaikwad had a huge collection of Advaita Vedanta. Even today it is there. And Tapovanji Maharaj sought permission to read those books. He stayed for a month and he memorized, because the Xerox copy machine was not even invented. It was not needed because the buddhi was utilized. So Buddha, a wise people, they are from as though a completely different prakriti, whatever you want to call it, a different world, a different mindset. So what this shloka is trying to do, why would Bhagavan Krishna include this after the definition of Ananda? What Bhagavan Krishna is saying to Arjuna is, Arjuna, be careful when you interact with this pluralistic world. That's all. You and I are both living in Dwapar Yuga. You and I are both going through it. I have a smile on my face. And you have given up your Gandiva. You have worry on your face. And you want to go away from here. Krishna has accepted everything, and yet in the mind, he only holds on to his absolute nature of blissful existence. Everything else he has rejected. He has left it where he found it. This is what we should do. Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha. When we enjoy the world of objects, Bhagavan is saying over here that don't abstain. You can enjoy the world, for you're going to have to if you have taken birth. But when you enjoy, leave the joys and the memories right where you found them. Don't carry it. Because if you carry it, it becomes a womb of sorrow. Because they are temporal. Adi antavantaha, beginning and end. So if you want to truly enjoy, the moment is there. In that moment, finish your enjoyment, and the next moment, give it up. This is called Jnana Yoga Sadhana. It's a spiritual practice from the standpoint of knowledge. It's a very powerful shloka. We need to be mentally prepared. But only when we try it, we realize on the grand scale the purpose of creation, and we don't get disturbed by it. There are people even today are petrified of COVID. What can we do? We are entering 21st month of this COVID. 21 months. Hare, we have to learn to just manage it and move on. That's all. Another very important shloka. Shaknoti haiva yasodum praksharira vimokshanat kama krodhodbhavam vegam sayukta sasukhi naraha. Oh, this is very, very powerful shloka. Bhagavan says, sasukhi naraha. The nara, the human being who is happy. Who is that person who is happy? Yaha, he whoever, Bhagavan says, sharira vimokshanat prak, before the body dies, meaning while they are alive. Kama krodha udbhavam vegam, the waves of anger and desire and passion which rise like tides in the pool of mind. Bhagavan says, ihaiva vegam sodum shaknoti. If that person is able to calm the waves brought about by desire and anger and passion in the pool of mind, shaknoti ihaiva, here and now, right now, saha yuktaha, such a person is integrated, saha sukhi, and is the most happy human being. We get tormented by the ripples created by memory in our mind. That is our sorrow. And nowadays, people even create a coffee table book out of any event because Shutterfly is available. And then they will be sprinkled the pictures, family pictures and event pictures and vacation pictures. They become physical memories which unsettle the settled waters of our mind. And this becomes a cause of sorrow. If at all we keep anything on walls, it should be remembrance of joy. Pictures of gods and goddesses, gurus. They will remain permanently etched as a precursor to absolute joy. But the other memories, if we relive and relive, we are only creating that one Kodak moment of a picture can unsettle silence and peace that is cultivated by hours of meditation. So Bhagavan wants us to question how we deal with the memory pool of our own mind. We will talk more about this shloka next week. We will continue next week. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti, shanti, shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.